So, I want to talk quickly about the idea of conservative politicians coming into power on the premise that they are going to start running the government like it is a company. Now, we see this time and time again with people like Mitt Romney, Donald Trump. In Australia, we have Malcolm Turnbull, who is a multimillionaire and had some successful business experience. And they sell us on this premise that they will come into government and they will run it a tight ship. They will to make it profitable again. They know how to run a budget and be successful. That's what they sell us. But in every case that this happens, that you get someone into power on the back of that sort of promise, the outcome is never what they sell. They don't end up running the government like it's a business. They run it for businesses. So they don't run the government like they're trying to make the government successful. Instead, they run it like they're trying to make all the businesses in our country successful, which is exactly the opposite thing. You do not run a business in such a way so that it makes everyone around you more successful. You run a business to make the business more successful. And so this is where there's two different ways to think about how you can run a business. And actually, Mitt Romney is a fantastic example of this because he didn't come into businesses and build them up. Maybe he did in the beginning, I don't know his history that well, but I know what he's famous for is going into old businesses, liquidizing their assets, breaking them up, selling them off, and then moving on with massive profits for himself. And that is exactly what these guys do in the government. They come in, they take all the assets that the nation has built up over all this time and start figuring out ways to sell them off so that the books look like they're being profitable, look like they're spending less than they're bringing in, which is bullshit. You shouldn't run a country like a business that you're liquidating. The objective of running a country is not to make a profit to begin with, and it's certainly not to break it up and sell it off and end it. We're not trying to finish our nation. We're trying to make it prosperous. We're trying to make the people do well, be successful, be healthy and happy, and not in danger or suffering. That's the objective of running a country. Completely different to the objective of a business. So when we hire business people to run a country, we have to make sure that their methodology is that of an entrepreneur or a small business owner, someone who's got an idea or whatever and is building. When you run a country, you should be building the country, not breaking it up. So when we think about how that looks, when you start a new company, the first thing you do in 99.9% of cases is borrow money. Yeah, in order to build a successful company, the first thing you do is get into debt. You go to the bank for a loan, or you go to investors to get their money so that you can buy the shit that you need to get the job done. You rent office space, you buy machinery, you buy tools, you build infrastructure, you buy materials and sources so that you can do the thing that adds value to the world that brings in profit. When you're running a country, it's not too dissimilar. And it's entirely reasonable to spend more than you bring in. That's how you build. That's how you invest in the future. And when it comes to countries, investing in the future involves investing in the people, because it's the people that generate the value. The citizens, the people, the population, the kids. So what does that mean? If everyone's sick, they're not going to be much good. They're not happy, that's for sure. But even if you want to look at it economically, they're not being very productive. They're not creating. They're not innovating. So you need to make sure everyone's healthy. So you invest in healthcare. You need to make sure that they're well educated and able to innovate and able to have ideas. So you invest in education. You need them to be safe. You need them not to be worried about their welfare, their well-being, the threats to their life and limb. So you invest in the police and in fire and in ambulances. You need for the work that they want to do to be able to be done at all. So you need roads and electricity and internet. This is what someone who runs the country like a business would do. Take money, even if it's more than we have, and invest it in these elements of infrastructure so that the population can produce value. That fucking simple. Run the country like a business, not run the country for businesses, and definitely not run the country like a business that you're liquidating so that you can make personal profit and then piss off. Thank you.